once the season began. This year, the man in the goggles, guard Elliott Perry, one of the most exciting players in the game, leads the young Tigers. Tennessee's Don DeVoe just may challenge for the SEC title this year. The biggest reason, the return of Conference Player of the Year forward Dyron Nix. Over 20,000 on hand. It's basketball history. Memphis State and Tennessee. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ted Robinson. Welcome to USA's College Basketball history tonight here. It's the first ever scheduled meeting in basketball history for Memphis State and Tennessee. Longtime rivals after the same talent in this great state, now fighting for bragging rights. Partner Jack Gibbons understands this. Your alma mater, Kentucky, just started playing Louisville a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and before these series get started, there's a lot of conflict back and forth as to who really benefits from a game like this. But as they found out in Kentucky, they'll find out here, the game is good for both teams. It's good for the fans, and it's great for the players because these guys played against each other in high school.
Big contrast tonight. Tennessee is experienced. They're bigger. Memphis State is very young, but very quick, especially Elliott Perry.
Well, he is the key for Memphis State, no question about it. He leads them offensively, but he leads them defensively also. They rely heavily upon their forecourt pressure. It starts with Perry. He gets a lot of skills and a lot of points because he's such a great defensive player.
Now, some chose Dyron Nix as SEC Player of the Year last year. He's back for Tennessee, but they're getting great play off the bench from Greg Bell.
Well, he's the kind of guy that once he comes on the playing floor, he has the okay to shoot it. He's a tremendous shooter from the outside, loves the three-pointer, will not hesitate to put it up. Tennessee looks to him to score. He will put the ball up when he's in the game.
And a big storyline tonight, Memphis State will press the whole game. Tennessee, not a good ball handling team. Can they cope with it? We'll find out when we come back to Knoxville, Tennessee on USA in a moment. Tonight's game on USA. This is the second year for the Thompson Bowling Arena on the campus of the University of Tennessee. Largest on-campus facility in the nation. Almost 25,000 can be here with standing room. Just shy of a sellout tonight, but it's at a fever pitch. Passions galore for a meeting that the players say means more to the fans than it does to the players themselves, Jack.
Well, you have to say that because you just can't afford to come into this game real hyped up as a player, so you want to put it on the fans. But believe me, it is a big game for both teams and all of the players involved.
And now to meet the starting lineups for tonight's game, let's join the public address system.
For the Tennessee Volunteers. At guard, 6'3", a senior from Memphis, number 11, Clarence Swearingen. At guard, 6'2", a senior from Knoxville, number 25, Travis Henry. At center, 6'11", a senior from Knoxville, number 50, Doug Ross. At forward, 6'8", a senior from Union City, number 33, Mark Griffin. And at forward, 6'7", a senior from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, number 31, Dyron Nix. Tennessee is coached by Don DeVoe. Officials for the night's game, Don Shea, David Baird.
Tennessee at 7-1. They are the only nationally ranked team right now in the SEC. Memphis State 7-4. Their first scheduled meeting is coming up next. Lineups, Jack Gibbons. Memphis State has to be concerned with who will guard Dyron Nix.
Well, Douglas will start out on him. I don't like that matchup because Douglas is not quite, I don't feel quite strong enough, but he was noted early for his defensive play in his career. He's a scorer now, but he has a good defensive player.
Well, they have played once before, but it was by accident, actually through the luck of a draw in a tournament in Oklahoma City, the All-College in 1969. Tennessee won big. This is the first time the two teams have ever scheduled a college basketball game. Our officiating trio tonight, Don Shea, Andre Patillo, and David Baer of the Southeast Conference. We should also mention this is the beginning of what will be an annual series.
Well, they go back to Memphis, and they'll play in a tournament similar to this one. There were a couple of games last night, but they will play, and then after next year, they will alternate home floors.
And we are set to go. Tennessee in the home white, Memphis State in the road blues. Darken your screens at home as we're ready to go. Dyron Nix jumps center for Tennessee, and Ernest Smith at 6'5" jumps center for Memphis State. And the Tigers come down with him. Tony Madlock, one of two true freshmen in the starting lineup for the Tigers.
Well, you'll see both teams play man-to-man early, especially. Memphis State will try to play the man-to-man the whole game.
And Ernest Smith the miss. Doug Roth clears it. Tennessee up quickly. They've really picked the tempo of their game up this year. Shooting quicker and using the three-point line a great deal.
Big difference between last year and the Tennessee teams of the past under Don DeVoe, because they've normally been a team that walks the ball up the floor, patient ball club, but they will run this year.
And Roth with the bank. And there's Travis Henry at 6'2", sneaking into the offensive board for the foul. Here's Ballard filling the lane. Knocked away. Perry picks it up. And we have a whistle and a foul. Charge is called on Ballard. First foul of the game. Right now, the shot clocks are not operating above either basket. I'm not certain if that's going to be a factor in the game.
Well, they are giving it the attention right now, trying to get it to work. One clock has 24 seconds. The other clock is off.
Finch, what a job he did last year. Loses two of his three starting front court players after just 5 games. And still wins 20 and takes his team to the NCAA.
He's done a great job since he's been at Memphis State. And he has a young team this year and knows he has his work cut out for him, but he's accepting the challenge and looking forward to the rest of the season.
They get it down low to Nix. And there's Roth over the back. And oh, would that be a good sign for Tennessee if Roth comes to play tonight. Floater missing. Left-hand tip by Ballard off, and Roth clears it. Henry's 1-on-2 as a trailer Swearingen. And a tip missing, and Memphis State clears it.
It's hard to figure out who this fast pace is going to benefit in this ball game. I think it will probably benefit Memphis State because they don't want to get in a half-court game with Tennessee.
Henry gives it up to Nix for the basket. How about that? Henry had a layup, and he gave it up to Dyron Nix, and it's 6-0 Tennessee.
Well, Tennessee really fired up here today, and of course the crowd now into the ball game.
Madlock on the drive draws the foul. Memphis State on their last possession thought they were going to get there. Perry did a good job on his last shot of hanging in the air, thought he was going to draw a foul and didn't get it.
Well, he was concerned with the defensive player there, wanted to draw the foul, threw his body into the player. The official didn't call it. Sometimes you do that, you try to draw the foul, you don't concentrate as much on the basket.
Travis Henry, the foul.
I don't think there's going to be a free throw. Madlock is standing at the line.
Already one change for Memphis State. 53. Brett Munt is in the game. He's a 6'10 senior from Jackson, Tennessee. Biggest player on the Memphis State team.
Well, that move was made for defensive purposes. Munt matches up a lot better with Roth, and that gives Ballard a chance to go over and guard Dyron Nix, who I think that is the matchup right there for Memphis State.
Tigers looking for their first points. Perry driving into Roth, has the shot blocked, and the Vols crank it up again. Travis Henry. And they call it a block on Madlock.
Well, Henry doing a good job, and Tennessee overall doing a good job filling the lane. That is the way to run the fast break. You see Swearingen with the ball, and there's Henry. He's going to go up for the basket. But the defense just a little bit slow getting there. Tony Madlock moved his body into to Henry as he made the move to the basket.
Another change for the Tigers. Cheyenne Gibson, a junior. on replacing the freshman Madlock.
Well, what Larry Finch is doing right now, he's getting some experience into the ball game, some experienced players with Gibson coming into the lineup, Munt coming into the lineup. They've been in pressure situations before.
And after 2 minutes and 12 seconds, Memphis State is yet to score, and Tennessee now leads 8-0 on the pair of foul shots. Here's Perry back. He wears prescription goggles. And a left-handed whiz. They have a lot of lefties on this team, and there's one of them, Brett Munt, getting them their first points.
Munt was starting up until about a week ago when he injured his ankle and was forced out of the lineup. And Memphis State had some success with the smaller team, and Larry Finch stayed with it.
Three-pointer way off there by Henry. And here's Gibson. Rodney Douglas. He is one of 2 starting seniors on this team, he and Ballard. The rest of the team very young. Perry. Elliot Perry at 18 a game, his first points. But Nix cherry picks the other way.
Well, Tennessee will do that, and they'll do it a lot. Nix does a good job of getting out on the fast break. He anticipates well. He sees the ball. Once that ball goes through the basket or one of his teammates gets the rebound, he will go for the long pass.
10-4 Tennessee. Gibson, nice left-handed move, and that time he draws the foul. Got Roth up in the air, and averaging 8 a game with the 2 foul shots. Memphis State pressure, and the Volunteers have worked on it all day today. Break it easily, and Nix missing a 3. Long rebound to Mark Griffin. Oh, nice move. Swearingen blew right around the big man. Munt gets the layup.
You're talking about quickness. I don't think that there is a quicker guard in all the SEC than Swearingen.
And it's 12-6 Tennessee. So far, the Memphis State press has not been a factor as Gibson hits. Now they set that press up. But Don DeVoe worked his team for a good hour today on just this. Moving it up against the press, and there's the first turnover.
Well, it's going to be important early to see how Memphis State handles that pressure defense. Excuse me, how Tennessee handles that pressure defense, because Memphis State, they like to score points out of the defense, as you saw Gibson do that time.
And there's a steal slapped away from behind by Douglas. The 3-on-1. And Gibson missing the chippy. And boy, the Tigers gave up 2 there. They had an easy one.
Well, they won't have many that easily.
So it stays 12-10 Tennessee, but Memphis State has done its job. They've gotten back in the game early here and quieted the crowd. But inside, Swearingen.
Well, what happened on that play, Elliott, who likes to gamble defensively, left Swearingen up under the basket to try to steal the ball from Munt. Munt did a good job of finding him down low.
Gibson off the screen, turnaround pop, and talk about instant offense. It's Cheyenne Gibson. He's walked off the bench and put in 8 quick points. 2-point Tennessee lead. Munt tipping that ball, and he cannot save it.
Well, but Memphis State doing what they wanted to do in their zone pressure. They're forcing Tennessee to hurry up the passes, and when you do that against a full-court zone defense, especially with the quickness that Memphis State has, they will force a lot of turnovers.
Ernest Smith, the freshman from Memphis, back in, replacing Douglas. And they lob it into Nix for 2. Ballard never saw it. Nix has 6 points. And Tennessee by 4. Gibson doing a good job going to his left thus far, although he's not one of the many left-handers on this team.
Well, he's feeling it right now, and I think when you're shooting the ball like he has shot it so far in this ball game, you have to be creative offensively, and he is right now.
Well, look at that. Nix again. As soon as the ball left Perry's hand, Nix was running the other end of the court, and he'll go to the line.
Well, what happened is Nix got a piece of that ball, and as I said, with his great anticipation and his ability to run the floor in the offense, as he does so well, he will get a lot of runouts. You'll see him come over. Well, you didn't see the block, but there's Munt with the pickoff, and he's going to get out on the break, and once he gets it down there, he's going to score or get fouled, as he did that time.
Oh, Nix at the line. A lot of people found out about this young man late last year at a great end of the year, named by 2 organizations as the SEC Player of the Year, and then he made it to the final 17 with the Olympic team this summer.
Well, he deserves it also. He is a tremendous talent. There's no question about that.
6-point Tennessee lead. Nick's one of those in-betweeners. He's 6'7". He's played inside his whole Tennessee career, and now moving outside a little bit away from the hoop.
Well, you have to think about his professional career. As you see, Larry Finch, they're not real happy with that pass. He will play the small forward position in college and maybe some guard position.
El Roth fumbles that ball out. Turnover gives it right back to Memphis State. 6-point Volunteer lead. We've played just over 6 minutes in the first half. Ernest Smith open. Crowd here tends to get very quiet, as they are right now, as Groff goaltends that in a basket for Brett Munt.
Well, I think back to when Groff first came to Memphis State, and just getting him to do a move like he just performed right there was really a chore for the Memphis State bench coaching staff, but they've done a great job of making him aware of his abilities on the offense.
Here's Travis Henry. Hasn't played very much until this year, his senior year. Gives it to Nix, who misses the 3, and it's rebounded by Steve Ballard.
I think Memphis State would like to have Darren Nix to keep shooting the ball from the outside as Elliot Perry comes up with the 3-pointer.
There's Swearingen at the other end, a quick release, and Nix goes over the back of Ballard to slam that down, and they'll wipe it out. Well, let's see. It'll be interesting to see this again. If Nix was so high that Ballard just undercut him, or did he actually go over the back?
Well, I think he jumped almost over Ballard. Yeah. I didn't see a lot of contact on the play, and Nix kind of gives it that smile like I really didn't do it, but anytime you go over the back like that, you almost have to call it.
Perry, a lot of dribbling, trapped to the baseline, finally loses the ball, and is then called for a foul. And for all the good things Perry does, Jack, if you look at his just on the numbers, he commits a lot of turnovers for point guard.
Well, I think when you have a player like Perry who feels like he has to take this team up on his own shoulders, especially such a young team, you get in the habit of trying to do a little bit too much, and that is the situation with him a lot of times.
And Perry now out. Madlock, who started the game, is back in. We'll see how the Tigers play. They played without Perry for 12 minutes last night. Oh, Swearingen open in the middle, and he is hammered by Munt.
Well, Tennessee doing a good job against the Memphis State defense. They're somehow continuing to find open people up under the basket. Now, Swearingen is going to get in there this time, and Henry's just going to make a great no-look pass to get the ball to him, and there's no question about the foul. He comes over the back and makes sure he doesn't make the shot.
2 shots for Clarence Swearingen. 5 seniors who start for Tennessee. He is one of them. Began to mention last night, and we should tell you that this is actually the last game of the Volunteer Classic, Tennessee's Christmas time tournament, but the format was changed this year. It's not a losers and winners format. This matchup tonight was guaranteed, whether Tennessee and Memphis State won or not last night. Both teams did win, however. Tennessee beating Miami of Ohio, and Memphis State beating Illinois State.
And Memphis State's tournament next season will be played under the same format to guarantee these 2 teams an opportunity to play again next year.
Gibson off the screen, and he is at 10 early points, and we are tied at 19. After Tennessee scored the first 7, Memphis State getting it back to even. Oh, and there's Griffin high inside for the tip off the glass, and it will count with a foul.
Boy, and Griffin came from all the way out at the top of the circle to get that. No one on the Memphis State team picked him up and screened him out. You might see him coming from the top of your screen right now, but he's going to just come full speed in there. There he is coming in. No one picks him up to screen him out, and he's going to get an opportunity now to go to the line for a 3-point play.
Foul on Ballard, his second. 16 fouls already on Memphis State. And that, Jack, that's going to be their problem, Memphis State's all year, isn't it, rebounding? Well,
no question. When you have such a small team as Memphis State does, look at them on the floor now. They, of course, have Ballard in there, but other than that, and Munt, but a lot of times they have guys 6'4", 6'5" playing the front court positions.
Ernest Smith drills it. His first points. The Vols get the ball back up the court quickly. Within 3 seconds, they're back across the midcourt line.
Well, that's the way Tennessee is playing this year. That's not a surprise to see them do that.
Don DeVoe admitted that. He said during the preseason, I've been too much of an inside-oriented coach, and now with this new line, the three-point line, I got to get my guys shooting the ball more out there.
Well, they didn't use it much last season, and he was criticized some for not using it as much as maybe he should have. But when you have the shooters like he has, and Bell hasn't even been in the game yet, they are a good three-point shooting team.
Traveling called on Madlock. 3-point Tennessee lead. Timeout. And that will bring us to a timeout. 27 to play, first half in Knoxville. Tennessee by 3.
Both teams shooting the ball well. Memphis State 9 of 18 from the field for 50%. Tennessee 9 of 17 for 53%. Rebounding is about the same, 10-8. Tennessee leading in that department. Everything else pretty much the same.
And Tennessee just got victimized by the new rule. The new rule this year with that 15-second horn when you come out of a timeout. Tennessee didn't get to the ball in time. The referee put the ball down on the court, began counting 5. By the time Greg Bell in the game picked it up, he was down to just 2 seconds to inbound, and the Vols turn it over. And Memphis State trying to make them pay for it. And it's saved in, but it comes to Memphis State. Tennessee with a bunch of changes we'll get to. There's a blocked shot by Lockhart and a foul.
Cheyenne Gibson, he's playing very aggressively in this ball game early. Not only on the offensive end, we've seen him a lot down there because he scored 10 points to this point, but doing it also rebounding and on the other end. He's going to get the second shot right here and put it back up. That's where the foul occurred.
And Gibson at the line. In the game for Tennessee is Bell, 6'2" sophomore. Ian Lockhart, a 6'8" junior. And Ricky Clark, a 6'5" sophomore. They're all in the game for Tennessee, as Gibson now has 12 first-half points.
Memphis State, they've backed out of that 2-2-1 press that they like to run. They're just going straight man-to-man full-court pressure now.
This is Swearingen in the game. Running push shot doesn't go, but he draws the foul.
He does a good job of using his body when he gets in traffic to draw the foul. That time the defense stepped in and cut off his path to the basket, but he was still able to draw the foul because he kept his body between the defensive player and the ball.
17 fouls now on Memphis State, so we're not even to the halfway point in the first half, and Tennessee into the bonus already. 2 fouls on Tony Madlock, and Swearingen will shoot a 1-and-1. Foul shots have been a real source of trouble for Don DeVoe and the Vols this year. They're shooting just 63% as a team from the foul line. And just as you say that, they have now made 7 of their first 8 in this game.
Well, free throw shooting really has been a problem for both of these ball clubs because Memphis State not doing much better, 64%, but Swearingen only shooting the ball free throws at 50% coming into this ball game. And for a guard who goes to the foul line as much as he does, that is just not good enough.
Elliot Perry back in for the Tigers. The only Tennessee loss was to South Carolina in overtime here. They blew a 13-point lead in the last 7 minutes of that game, strictly by missing the foul shots.
Yeah, that is the reason. They went to the line and they just didn't make them, and South Carolina kept sending them there, and you know, that will win or lose ball games for you.
Traveling called on Smith of Memphis State. Larry Finch unhappy with the turnovers.
Cheyenne Gibson went to the bench as Elliot Perry came back into the game, and you'll see Gibson back in there pretty quickly.
But somehow the Vols came out with that ball. They're fumbling it and kicking it around. And Swearingen's going to go in coast to coast and have it rejected. Perry ahead. Wild flurry here. And the jump shot rimming it out. Pulled down by Bell for Tennessee.
Well, one of those situations where Perry probably could have gotten a little bit better shot. There was a 4-on-2 situation, and he shot the ball from the outside. A couple guys under the basket had a little bit better shot than he did.
Clark missing the jump. And we'll get a rebounding foul here. They're going to get Madlock. Larry Finch worming the sidelines in disbelief there. That's the 3rd foul on Tony Madlock.
Well, Memphis State had done a pretty good job on the defensive boards, not allowing Tennessee to get the second and third shots, as Tennessee loves to do. Of course, with Darron Nix in there, he loves to go to the offensive boards. They had done a pretty good job, except for the time that they allowed Griffin to get in there. But that time, Tennessee up under their work in the boards.
So in for the first time now for the Tigers is John McLaughlin. He is a 6'5" sophomore, good outside shooter. Madlock out, and Ian Lockhart to the line. He's the wide body for Tennessee that comes off their bench. Averages 8 points, 6 rebounds a game in not many minutes.
Well, he played well last night, and it's interesting. He's comes in. He's from the Bahamas. Played all of his high school basketball games outdoors down there. So I'm sure coming into a building like this has to be a big shock for him.
All right, you ready for a little trivia?
Yes.
His distant cousin once played at the University of Minnesota with Michael Thompson, who's also from the Bahamas, named Osborne Lockhart. Fans, Big Ten fans especially remember that as Munt gets the putback for Memphis State.
When Munt is in there and he's running the floor like he has been in this ball game so far and has made the shots when he's gotten them down low, he is very valuable to this Memphis State ball club.
Tyron Nix been quiet the last few minutes. That's the type of shot he hadn't taken much in his career here, moving outside this year.
Well, I think Memphis State will be happy with giving him that shot. If he can beat him from out there, let him have it.
Perry with the errant pass thrown away. And in the game for Tennessee, number 10, Jay Price, who played very well last night in their game against Miami of Ohio. He gave the Vols a real perk off the bench. He's a freshman from Chattanooga.
And you saw Bell threaten the shot that time. He will shoot it from there. Memphis State doing a good job having a hand in his face.
Ooh, that ball got tipped. Looked like it was close to the cylinder. And now a foul, and that's on Tennessee. 11th year for Don DeVoe. And he thinks this year could be a rebound. They've had a couple of subpar years, but they have experience in what is a little bit of a down year for the SEC.
Yes, it is. And with this team, when you have 5 seniors in the lineup and all the guys been around the horn in the SEC, they're used to playing that schedule. That goes a long way when you play that 18-game round-robin schedule.
And Memphis State has its first lead on the three-pointer by John McLaughlin. 8.5 minutes to play in the first half. 28-27 Memphis State.
Tennessee, I think, has to find a better shot for Darron Nix. He has taken a couple of shots from the outside here lately, but hasn't had any success.
Clark, tough shot. Dribbled through the defense and banks it in from a tough angle. His first points, Perry back quickly. McLaughlin again. And he drills 2 in a row from three-point land.
Well, isn't it funny how players go in spurts? McLaughlin didn't play very much last night, and already he has put up 2 3-pointers. And you look at his face when he catches the ball, and you know he feels good here tonight.
And funny because Memphis State is not a three-point shooting team, but he's about the only guy in their club that really does it much and does it well. Nix draws the foul inside.
Well, that's the shot Darron Nix really likes to get, and he had to pretty much create that shot on his own. Memphis State doing a pretty good job defensively, and but you just simply can't allow him to catch the ball down low. Douglas is on his back, and that is not the place to be once he's down that close to the basket.
So Munt picks up the foul. It's his second. And Tennessee getting a lot of foul shots here in the first half. Nick's a very outspoken guy. A lot of times he says that he admits he takes an attitude with him on the court, a little bit of a swagger, and he says our team really needs more of it.
Well, I think so. You know, you have a team that has not played up to par over a couple-year period. You have to have a leader on the floor, and Nix is that guy for Tennessee.
And we come to a timeout after the foul shots by Nix. 47 to play in the first half. Tie game between UCLA and Oregon State. Here's Perry coming back, stripped nicely by Bell as he was going up for a shot. Memphis State with the ball. Douglas shot partially blocked by Nix. He's out in the outlet, but they can't get the ball to him. And now they do. It's Swearingen, and Nix will go to the line.
Well, I'm surprised to see Darron Nix miss that shot. Usually when he catches the ball down low and has that much time to gather his composure and take the ball up. He tries to tear the rim down. He didn't do it that time, and McLaughlin's going to get called with the foul. He wanted the lob.
Knicks at the line, 2 shots.
But anytime he gets it that close, look at that reaction. He knows he should have had that one.
The way he's playing tonight, he could score a ton of points because he's playing out, it seems like, Jack, on the defense, and he's flying down the court.
Well, he's come up with 2 or 3 blocks here early in the ball game, and his teammates are looking for him. They know he likes to get out on the break, and you know, anytime you get him the ball out there, you know he's going to score.
He has 12 now. McLaughlin, that's a 3. 3 of them for John McLaughlin of Memphis State in the first half, and the Tigers lead by a point.
Well, somebody's going to have to come up and pick him up. He's coming down and just stopping at the 3-point line. That's what he wanted the time before.
That was beautifully done. Ian Lockhart with the lob to Dyron Nix, who now has 14 points. No question, too, Jack. Nix is much more comfortable in the paint. You can just see it.
Well, you can see it. There's no question about it. He likes to play down low there, but he has become a better outside shooter. He knows he has to put the ball up from the outside because against a lot of teams, he's going to be faced with a zone defense, so he has to come out on the floor more.
Ernest Smith with the basket, and then the foul, his second. And Larry Finch's team picking up a lot of fouls in this first half. We'll meet Larry Finch as part of our halftime program this evening.
He's an interesting man, no question about that. He is dedicated very much to the Memphis State program and fun to talk to.
Dedicated to Memphis, you could say,
and
to his whole life there.
All his life there.
And one of the most popular people in that great city. Greg Bell, 23 points off the bench last night for Tennessee. Those are his first 2 tonight. And the Vols have the lead back by a point. 6:40 to go first half. Pounding, they get McLaughlin to dribble it off his shoe and force a turnover. And now they slap it away from Nix from behind. So teams trading the mistakes. And Perry misses the jumper.
Well, that's the time Perry needs to slow it down.
Oh, Nix got hammered as he missed the slam, fouled by Rodney Douglas.
Well, sometimes your point guard needs to just get a feel of things and know that it's not the time to push the action. You need to pull back. Perry on the other end took the bad shot and gave Tennessee an opportunity for the run out. Coach Larry Finch wanted to travel right there, and I don't know, he might be right, but there's Douglas coming in and picking up the foul.
And what we saw in that replay, Jack, was when Perry was taking that outside shot at the other end, his team had a 5-on-3.
5-on-3.
2 guys at the other end of the court.
Right.
Gibson
back in for Memphis State, and in for the first time is number 30, Ronald McLean. He's a 6'8" sophomore.
Tremendous shooter from the outside is McLean.
See how Nick's gotten better as a foul shooter. This year, only 70%, but he is now perfect in the first half. He is 8 for 8 at the line and has 16 points.
Swearingen really putting the pressure on McLaughlin now.
Yeah, McLaughlin's getting the message, isn't he? No more freebies.
I think Tennessee is getting the message. They can't allow him to have those freebies.
That's only the 16th foul in Tennessee. Memphis State's been over the limit for quite a while. First foul on Swearingen. 3-point Tennessee lead. 6:14 to play in the half. McLaughlin. That time he had a hand in his face, and there's a good offensive rebound by Ronald McLean for the basket.
Well, McLean has really been struggling for playing time, and to come in and to make something good happen that quickly, I think you might see him earn himself a little more playing time.
39-38 Tennessee. Tennessee's been scoring a lot of points this year. They're averaging over 90 a game. And that's out of bounds. Lockhart's air ball, and Memphis State gets it back.
Well, not the shot for Lockhart. He doesn't really face the basket that much and square up and shoot the ball from that far away from the basket, and saw what happened. He shot the air ball.
McLean telegraphed that pass, and Nix flashing over the shoulder breaks it up. And Bell finishes it, but Swearingen makes the play.
Well, he is so good in traffic, as I said before.
Gibson missing a three, going after his own rebound, and here come the balls again. It's 4-on-1, and Nix finishes it. And now they're up again in Knoxville, Tennessee by 5.
Well, Tennessee doing such a great job in the open floor. They're running the fast break. McLaughlin that time had a chance to pick up the charge. You're not going to block Nix's shot, so you just have to take the charge.
Swearingen. Oh, good play by McLaughlin. He's called for the foul, but he did a nice job there. And what's happened here, Jack McLean has made 2 telegraph passes in a row.
Well, I talked about the fact that he was struggling for playing time, and he made something good happen, but the last 2 times down, he has turned the ball over.
A lot of orange, and now they're making their presence known. And Memphis State will hear it all during a timeout that they call with 4 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the first half. Tennessee 43, Memphis State 38.
But the turnovers right now, the story, Memphis State with 9 here in the first half.
Now we come back with Swearingen at the line for Tennessee, shooting 2.
Well, he doesn't have real good form on the shot, and that might explain the reason why he's shooting only 50% from the free throw line. Tennessee has had 21 free throws so far here in the first half. They made 17 of them.
13, Tim Duncan is in for the first time for Memphis State. He's another freshman, one of 4 true freshmen that see substantial playing time for the Tigers.
Well, Tennessee, they picked up the pressure defensively. Memphis State way spread out in the floor trying to find something offensively.
Wanted a high post. Boy, Tennessee really overplaying as well. But Perry gets the open jumper and hits it.
Well, good ball movement that time by Memphis State, and good patience on the offense. That's the kind of shot Perry will make if he's just patient, waits for it to develop.
2-pointer by Perry gives him 7, and Tennessee leads by 4. Swearingen just taking Gibson into the lane and draws the foul.
Well, that first step is so quick. It's tough to guard him. And you're looking at a quick player right there. Sean Gibson is pretty quick himself.
14, Gibson.
Well, Don DeVoe has to be happy in the first half. He was very fearful of the Memphis State press, but you watch this, you'd think Tennessee was the team that wanted to play up tempo.
Yeah, what they've done against the Memphis State press is they brought the big guy down, Doug Roth, and with the 6'11" guy down there handling the ball, he can look over that defense and spot those his teammates running down the floor. And Darren Nix early in the ball game picked up some points that way.
All right, look at Nix hustling to that rebound of the missed foul shot by Swearingen. Bell open, floating it over the big guy, misses, and Duncan rebounds for Memphis State, loses it right back to Nix. And now we get a foul inside. They got Nix, I believe.
Yeah, Nix over the back. I thought he got away with one that time. He was so quick up in the air to get a tip that time that the official made what looked like a late call. McLean, I think, will go to the line for 1 in a bonus.
7th foul now on Tennessee.
He brought the guys in off the bench, and that's when they built their lead up.
Of course, when you have a great player, Nix is usually the one guy that won't come out.
He's averaging almost 39 minutes a ball game, so that tells you how much they think of him.
Clark to Bell, lets the defender fly by, and then shoots an air of 3, but it goes out off the hand of Munt.
Well, good pressure by the Memphis State defense that time. Made Bell hesitate on his shot, and once he had to think about it, slowed down his rhythm, he had no chance of making that shot.
.320 to go in the first half. Tennessee by 3. Ricky Clark.
Be interesting to see who Tennessee goes to now for the offense. With Nix out of the lineup, that really changes their offensive threat around a lot. So we'll see who goes for the shot.
Clark is open. Took a dribble inside the arc and hit it for 2.
Well, I think Clark got away with a double dribble that time. He fumbled the ball away, picked it up, and dribbled again. And Larry Finch up off the bench talking to the officials about it.
Poor shot by McLean, but the nice rebound by Brett Munt, and he has come in with 8 points in the first half.
Well, he's played well. I talked a little bit earlier about how valuable he is to the Memphis State team because with him out of the lineup, they're so small. He's played well for him here this evening.
He was starting for them early in the year, especially in the Maui Classic when they played well. There is Bell on the offensive follow.
And I think Clark got away with another double dribble. The official didn't call it again. Well, the Memphis State bench, they're going crazy over there.
And now Tennessee.
Elliot Perry's hurt. He's down on the floor. Turned his ankle or his knee.
Number 15, John McLaughlin replaces Perry. And
McLaughlin is back in to replace Perry for Memphis State, but he appears to be all right. Walking off there, holding his hip.
Well, and he's running off. He's a trooper.
Well, they've absorbed a lot, but that's one loss I don't think they can absorb.
No, they need him in the lineup, and he knows that. That's why he is not going to be too concerned about the pain right now.
So Memphis State was at the Maui Classic to start the year, and they lost 2 games there, but they lost to Michigan by just 4, and then to UNLV by just 4. Larry Finch was actually very happy with the way they played.
Well, when you go against that kind of competition, and you play them the kind of game that they played against them and had chances to win the ball game, win both of those ball games, you know, you have to feel good, especially with a young ball club.
Under 2 minutes to go in the half. Tennessee leading by 5. Cheyenne Gibson, he's had 12 first half points for the Tigers. McLaughlin.
He started out hot and has cooled off. Of course, the Tennessee defense has picked up the pressure on him and not letting him have those open shots he was getting early.
And another foul on Memphis State. They call that on Tim Duncan. That is his first foul. Volunteers back to the line again.
Ian Lockhart, another Tennessee player that has been struggling at the free throw line, although he made that one 66.7% coming into this ball game.
This is the 24th free throw for Tennessee in the first half. And they're also betraying their season record. They've made 20 of them this. They've shot well, but they've shot a ton of them.
Yes.
And they lead by 7.
Memphis State, on the other hand, has shot only 4 free throws, and they made all 4 of those.
(50-43) Tennessee. Memphis State has had a couple of brief 1-point leads. Minute 15 in the half. Shot clock to 12. McLean came close to a travel there.
Yeah, I thought he did. He shuffled that pivot foot just a little bit.
With 4 on the clock, McLean is short. And the Tigers get it back. McLaughlin missing. And that time Munt is called for traveling, but it seems there without Perry in the game and without Rodney Douglas in the game, they're kind of looking for their offense, Jack.
Well, they are, and what they're looking for more than offense is a player that can get them set up in their offensive formation and make sure everybody is where they're supposed to be on the floor.
Ricky Clark takes over for the Vols. They cannot run the clock out. There is an 11-second discrepancy between game and shot clock.
Tennessee has done a good job building on that lead with Daron Nix on the bench.
Now McLean with the foul, and so the parade to the foul line continues for the Volunteers.
Well, one reason Tennessee has been spending so much time on the free throw line is that the Memphis State defense has allowed them to catch the ball down low, and they've been forced to try to come up with block shots. And you get guys like Daron Nix down there with his great jumping ability, you're just not going to block a lot of his shots.
Ricky Clark started briefly as a freshman last year, then he cut a tendon in his hand early in the year and missed the remainder of the season. Almost starting over this year as a sophomore, missing both foul shots, and that'll be Memphis State's ball. 36 seconds now. The Tigers get it down 7.
And I think you'll see Memphis State just work the ball and try to come up with the final shot of the first half here. Going down by going in down by 7 will not be too bad for Memphis State.
See the game clock. Shot clock is off. And fumbled. Quick passing, and McClain could not hang on. So now the Tennessee Volunteers get it. And Bell misses the 3. Still time for the Tigers. Nope, it may be time for no one here as Roth puts it up from midcourt. It's short, and the half comes to an end. And the crowd responding. The tempo was up as we expected, but surprisingly it was Tennessee that handled it very well. And the Volunteers at halftime of Don DeVoe go into the locker room leading Memphis State 50-43. Halftime festivities in a moment. Plays in the first half.
Well, Perry, the guy we're looking at right now, he had a pretty good first half, but he was really effective when he squared up, pulled up for the jump shots, and got the shot without the pressure. You saw him right there, just inches away from the three-point shot. That is when he's at his best offensively, when he squares up and shoots the ball that way. The press caused Tennessee some problems early, and you'll see Roth, who I thought Don DeVoe made a good move bringing him up, but early the Memphis State defense still caused them to turn the ball over a couple of times. And once you get the ball right in a 3-on-1 situation, Memphis State did just what they had to do, and Gibson, who had a great first half, came in off the bench and played well for Memphis State, gets the 2-point right there. But once Tennessee started running, they started getting their game going the way they did it, they started to force Memphis State into some turnovers. Nix right here is going to get a hand on the ball to knock it away, and Tennessee will go down and get an easy basket. The fast break was good to Tennessee, and Bell is going to come in from the side, fill in the lane well, and get the easy 2. But the guy for Tennessee in the first half was who we expected it to be, Dyron Nix. He had 18 points, and a lot of his points came just like this, getting out on the fast break. McLaughlin, who has no chance to block the shot, tries his best to do that, but Nix out on the fast break. When he's doing that, Tennessee is at their best.
Now our first half stats brought to you by the Prudential, going above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services. And Jack, you look at that, the free throw category just jumps out at you.
Well, that's the thing that really matters for Tennessee. They shot 26 free throws and made 20 of them. Well, that's hard to make up 20 points on the free throw line. As you see, Memphis State only shot 6 free throws, but the field goal percentage about the same, rebounding the same. So the thing that does stand out, as you say, is the free throw shooting. That Tennessee 26 attempts in the first half. And
Tennessee, which has been a good three-point shooting team this year, no three-pointers in the game in the first half.
Did a good job on Bell, not letting him get going. Gibson leading away with 12 points. As I said, he played well. Nix, I mentioned a little while ago, has 18 first half points for Tennessee.
And one, wow, your 10-year reunion this summer.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago you'd come in here and they hated you, didn't they?
Well, I tell you, the guys behind us, they've been cheering and clapping and shaking hands. And, boy, I would have loved to have had that reception about 10 years ago when we came down here to take on the Volunteers.
And we start the second half with a foul against Tennessee. Griffin, who didn't play a whole lot in that first half once it got underway.
He was quiet in the first half. He is a good shooter from the outside, but the only basket he made, I think, was on the tip when he came in from way out in the top of the key. He made a free throw on that play, and that was his 3 points in the first half.
Griffin's first foul. One other thing we should mention about that first half, Tennessee, which has been averaging 21 turnovers a game this year, had only 7 in the first half against a pressure team. That they must be pleased with that number.
Yes, they have to be.
Ballard with a rolling hook. Kind of a dying shot in basketball. That one misses, and here's Swearingen. Good acceleration, driving in for the basket. And a foul.
Be interested to see if this basket is going to count. They are going to count the basket. Swearingen doing a good job going to the basket, but just a little bit out of control. Well, that quickness, though, before you know it, he's already up going to the basket. Douglas does a good job coming over with the weak side help.
And that's his game. He's really not a good outside shooter, Jack.
No, he's not. He takes the ball to the basket and does a good job usually in traffic. That time a little bit out of control.
Well, now Memphis State has to be careful. Tennessee's opened up the biggest lead of the game, 9 points here in the first minute of the second half.
Well, this is going to be pretty important for Memphis State to come out and get some good shots and score some points. They don't want to get behind in this building.
And Henry, with a blind deflection of that pass, goes the other way, and Perry does a good job getting back on defense.
Look who blocks the shot.
All 6 feet of him. Cheyenne Gibson, a high arc, rattles it out. Henry comes out with the ball. Rob down court, but there's Perry again to get up and swat that ball away.
Well, and good job by Douglas just to bring the ball out and set up the offense. Memphis State just a little bit out of control, forcing their shots.
And inside Nix. I would think, and I don't see him play a lot, Jack, but he plays a lot on the shoulder of those guys down low. He may pick up a lot of fouls doing that.
Well, what's happening is that he is allowing Memphis State to catch the ball, to get good position down there on the low box and catch the ball down low. And it's just difficult to reach around the big bodies of these players now and knock the ball away without committing a foul.
Nix has 3, and the Volunteers have 3 quick fouls in this half. Memphis State can't buy a hoop, but they get one there on the tip.
And I think Ballard is going to be credited for that. And Memphis State would like to get more of that from Ballard. They need him on the offensive boards, and they need him on offense on the offensive end in the formations.
First points for Ballard tonight. 7-point Tennessee lead. Nix steps out to the foul line. And Roth over everybody for the tip. And it's back to a 9-point game. Now Munt posting up Roth. And Roth with a rebound. And he just got caught up there.
Boy,
turntable was spinning too quick for him.
He's not supposed to have the ball out there, and he knows it. And Don DeVoe is up, and you know, your big men love to be guards. There's no question about that. Just like your guards like to come down low and play.
Perry's having a tough night. There's an easy 15-footer that he couldn't can. And Roth down low against Perry. That mismatch gives Roth an easy hoop.
Boy, and how did they get that matchup? Perry, the smallest guy on the floor, trying to guard the tallest player, and Roth is going to win that matchup every time.
And it's as if everybody here suddenly looked up at the scoreboard at once and realized Tennessee was up 11. Biggest lead of the game for the Volunteers, 3 minutes into the second half.
Well, Memphis State, they're getting good shots at the basket. You just have to think those shots are going to fall sooner or later.
Turning around Cheyenne Gibson. He has 14 now for the Tigers.
Well, he came in off the bench in the first half and really sparked Memphis State, and for a while they were up by 1 point on a couple of occasions.
Oh boy, Gibson came very close to a steal there. And on the baseline, loose ball scramble, and it is out off Swearingen, they say, and it'll be Memphis State ball.
Well, Memphis State got away with one that time. They saved the ball back in under the opponent's basket. That's one of the things that you never want to do in a basketball game. They got away with one.
Douglas, good shovel out to Munt, and Munt cans the jumper. Brett Munt now with 10 points. And Memphis State gets it back to 7. 16:05 to play. Griffin on the line, missing. And Perry the rebound.
Good position that time by Memphis State. Good blockout position. Only blue shirts up under the basket.
And a good shot there. Gibson missed it. Here come the Volunteers 2-on-1. Roth got away with a travel there, and he got stripped by Perry.
Well, I said Roth would win that matchup every time. Perry made me a liar on that play.
Wow, there's nice play by Travis Henry as he just hit Perry's pocket. And Nix gets the basket.
What a move. There, Nix. Good body control that time.
I tell you, Travis Henry did a nice job at the other end, cleanly swiping it from Elliot Perry. That's a good turnaround there for Tennessee. Keeps the lead at 9. Munt didn't have a good handle on that ball as he shot it. And it's overthrown, intended for Henry, who goes into the trombone section trying to save it. It'll be Memphis State ball, and in this frenetic pace, a much-needed timeout, I think, for both teams.
And for the announcers.
15:11 to go. Tennessee by 9. Unheralded Gary Payton. You'll see it live 7 Eastern next Sunday on USA.
Memphis State really struggling from the field here early in the second half. They're shooting only 40% right now. And that percentage has dropped since the second half started.
Tennessee by 9. We have less than 15 minutes remaining.
See Tennessee really overplaying defensively, forcing Memphis State to see how widespread that offense is right now. And give Tennessee credit. They're doing it defensively.
And the shot clock down now to 10 for the Tigers. And they finally get Smith down low. He got away from Nix. Smith with 6 points.
Well, Nix, I think, afraid of picking up that 4th foul, so he laid off in a smart play.
58-51 Tennessee. Roth left alone. And Ballard does a nice job going up there with Nix. Wrestle that rebound away. Now a chance for the Tigers to cut it to 5. And Henry battling Elliott Perry for that pass. It'll be Memphis State ball.
Well, sometimes it looks like Tennessee knows the Memphis State plays as well as Memphis State does, because they are overplaying the passing lanes, and everywhere Memphis State wants to go, they're there waiting for it.
Good job Ballard swatting at that loose ball. Keeps it for the Tigers. Ballard finally heard the crowd yelling 3, and he got out of the lane.
I think he was so surprised to catch the ball down there. That wide open could have had an opportunity to score 2 points.
Had to pick those roots up. Not a very good shot there, and it's out of bounds. I know the Memphis State ball again. And the Tigers are getting some breaks here at this possession, a series of possessions.
Well, they are, but what's happening is that Memphis State is not taking advantage of them, and maybe this is why Ballard didn't shoot the ball the time before he was open. He shoots an air ball down low, and you see Memphis State battling down there down low for the ball, and it's going to go off of Griffin and out of bounds. Memphis State gets it back.
And a foul on Tennessee. Lockhart is in for the Volunteers, replacing Doug Roth. And the foul's on Griffin, his second. 14 fouls now on Tennessee. None so far in this half on Memphis State. Now Greg Bell back in for Tennessee. And he'll replace Mark Griffin, which will leave the Volunteers now with a quicker 3-guard lineup in there, more matching up with what Memphis State has.
I think that's one of the reasons why we haven't heard a whole lot from Mark Griffin in this ball game, because he just simply didn't match up well with those smaller players for Memphis State.
Ernest Smith, nice drive in the lane, going all the way in, but the ball isn't dropped. And they're going to call basket interference on Memphis State. So the Tigers had 4 chances there to cut the lead to 5 and could not convert.
And didn't score. And I mentioned before that when you get those breaks, you have to take advantage of them, especially when you're playing on the road and trying to get back into a ball game.
And the ball knocked away from Lockhart. Here come the Tigers. Gibson without much help. Now finds Smith inside, rolls off the rim. Smith with another try, and he'll wind up at the line.
Well, Smith is really having a tough time down low, and normally when he catches the ball down there, he takes the ball to the basket and he scores points down that close in, but he's had a hard time here in the second half.
First foul on Ian Lockhart. 5 fouls now on Tennessee. Why does a team go through stretches, Jack, like Memphis State is right now, and they just can't? They're missing layups.
Well, it's a confidence factor, and it's more telling with a young team when your key people are not producing. It's hard for you to get in the flow, and Smith, being a freshman, he's seeing some of the other guys miss some easy shots down close to the basket. He starts thinking about it a little bit too much. He made that free throw. Maybe that'll get him going.
And the second one missing, so it's a 6-point lead now for Tennessee. 12:50 to play. Swearingen, Bell, and Henry, 3 guards in there for the Volunteers, along with Nix and Lockhart. Bell is open for 3. Missing. Good ball reversal, though, got him the shot. Lockhart bulls his way back in there and draws the foul on Ballard.
Well, an opportunity for Ballard to pick up a charge. He had pretty good position, but he brought those arms down and got Lockhart across the arm.
So Ian Lockhart to the line now for Tennessee.
Ballard, he has already been accepted into med school. He is a pre-dentistry student graduating with high honors and already accepted in med school. That is one of the examples of the job that Larry Finch has done with these players, keeping them interested in school and making sure that they graduate.
And where is the Memphis State center going to dental school? University of Tennessee. And Ernest Smith at the other end with the slam, so they capitalize on the 2 missed foul shots and cut it to a 4-point lead.
Now that's normally what you see out of Smith down low.
Gibson. Oh, boy, a tough pass there for Memphis State. The Volunteers take advantage, and Henry alertly picks that ball up and then draws the foul at midcourt on Rodney Douglas.
Well, you give the bounce pass in that situation. Memphis State is scoring 2 points and running back, getting in defense. But I think it was Gibson who tried to throw the pass through the defense instead of bounce passing, and Tennessee gets the break.
One of those few spurts in the game where the Memphis State press has made any impact at all. See Swearingen there. He had an outside shot, didn't take it. That's not his game. And Tennessee will keep the ball. We have a timeout first, though. And we'll be back at 11:58 to play. Tennessee by 4 over Memphis State. And Ernest Smith with the foul here for Memphis State, his 3rd and the team's 3rd.
We've talked a lot about the fact that, look at that picture tells the story, huh? Talked about the Memphis State shooting. They're down now to 39% for the ball game. And you're surprised, I'm a little bit surprised that they're down by only 4 right now, shooting the ball this poorly. But the thing that they've done, they forced Tennessee into some turnovers. They now have 15.
And the Volunteers starting to miss some foul shots now. They're 0 for 3 from the line in the second half. And 0 for 4, and we have a foul inside. This foul on the Volunteers.
Foul on number 51.
That's on Lockhart, his second and 16 foul. So Memphis State with the ball down by just 4. Tennessee had opened it up a few moments ago to an 11-point lead.
Well, when you play the style basketball Memphis State plays, and that is that you do not give up. You stay with it 100% the whole time. You're going to make ball games close. And Douglas, that time, who we haven't heard from in this ball game, gets his first 2 points.
And the senior comes through to bring Memphis State back within a pair. Swearingen.
He's been concerned with Darren Nix. When I say he, Douglas has been concerned with him the entire ball game and not thinking offensively, and that's good. You look at that matchup down there now, and
Douglas had been fronting Nix, trying to deny the ball, and inside Memphis State comes out with it. And a chance to tie.
On the right decision by Perry to slow things down.
Or take the lead, and they do, as Elliott Perry nails a 3. And just like that, Memphis State has come back to take a 1-point lead. What an amazing turnaround. Tennessee appeared to be in control. And Bell lost the handle as he went up, and a foul by Lockhart of Tennessee over the back.
Boy, and Don DeVoe was up trying to call timeout before Tennessee turned the ball over that time. The players were not looking over at the bench, and Memphis State, boy, they are revived right now, and they think they can win it.
And that's a foul that will put Memphis State on the line when we come back with a 1-point lead.
Came over the back and got away with one.
Yeah, that's what he did. He got away with that. Memphis State by a point, 10:40 remaining in our game in Knoxville. Ted Robinson, Jack Gibbons with you on USA.
Patience and shot selection right now is the key for Memphis State. They've gotten back into this ball game. They've taken a 1-point lead.
Lob into Smith, and it's a 3-point lead for Memphis State.
Well, that's the way they've done it right there. They've been patient here lately. They're up in that field goal percentage, and they're taking good shots right now.
And flashing in front, Douglas with a steal, a race for the ball. And a great job by Henry of Tennessee to outrun 2 Memphis State players for the ball.
Well, but look at how much trouble Tennessee is having right now getting into their formation. Memphis State, they picked up the pressure defensively. Nix needs a shot right now. They need to go to Darren Nix.
And you see Rodney Douglas is completely fronting Nix. Just ball denial down low. And all they can do is lob over it, and Nix takes a swipe at it, and Gibson comes out with it. Memphis State by 3. Memphis State by 5, their biggest lead as Perry has 12.
Well, you see Memphis State playing under a lot of control right now. Don DeVoe is going to call another timeout, and they've let Memphis State get back into this ball game.
And take it over. A 16-point turnaround in the last 7 minutes. Memphis State by 5. In the last 6 minutes, Memphis State has scored 14 straight points to go from 9 down to 5 up.
Well, they've done it a couple ways. They've been selective on the offense, but they've done a great job of putting the pressure on Darren Nix and not letting him catch the ball down low. With this lineup, Memphis State is so much quicker than Tennessee, and they're just taking the ball and running up and down the floor and putting the pressure on them both on both ends.
Interesting change here for Tennessee. They bring Roth back in the game. They played well in the few spurts that Roth has been in tonight.
Yeah, he's played well for him. He's been able to take up a lot of space up under the basket. He's blocked some shots, put the pressure on Memphis State players down low. Well, that matchup with Douglas and Nix is really coming into play right now.
Bell off balance, trying to draw a foul, doesn't get it, and Rodney Douglas has the rebound for Memphis State. And the Volunteers on a long, long point drought.
Tennessee, I think, needs to be a little bit more patient. You know, you've got a guy like Nix down there. You just have to work the ball around, not get too over anxious to get the shot up quickly.
Douglas on the baseline on his move, out of bounds, turnover.
Well, that's one thing we haven't seen out of Memphis State here in the last 3 or 4 minutes. They've been very good at passing the ball to the open player. That time Douglas tried to create a little bit too much, took the ball along the baseline and stepped on the end line.
8.5 to play. Memphis State by 5. 22,000 here in Knoxville. And Nix misses twice around the basket. Has the ball back and then is fouled by Elliott Perry.
Well, you won't see Nix miss many of those kind down below there. But you saw what happens when he gets the ball down there. He has the opportunity to score every time he touches it, and that's why I think it's important for Tennessee to remain patient offensively and not force up the shots from the outside.
2 fouls on Perry, 4 now on Memphis State, almost thrown over Roth's head. Memphis State's been in the bonus for a while now, but they haven't been able to take much advantage of that. Bell with the drive and the running floater, the first hoop in a long time, in almost 7 minutes for Tennessee.
Well, you can tell Tennessee wants to get the ball to Nix, but Memphis State doing just what they have to do and not letting him catch the ball down there. Bell had to take it himself and did a good job getting the 2 points.
We've played 12 minutes in this second half, and Tennessee has only scored 10 points. They had 50 at halftime. They have just 60 with 7:50 to play in the game. And the basket by Gibson. 2-pointer by Cheyenne Gibson. He has 16, and it's back to a 5-point lead.
Well, the Memphis State bench wanted the 3-point shot on that, and the officials didn't give it to him.
Roth with good position inside, and he is fouled by Brett Munt. 3 on him, 5 now on the team.
Even though Munt picked up the foul right there, what we're seeing is that everything Tennessee gets, every shot they're taking right now, they're having to really work hard for it. They're not getting anything easy right now, and Memphis State defense deserves a lot of credit for that. I still think Tennessee needs to go down to Darren Nix, get him more involved in the offense. Gibson leaving.
Nix, by the way, has just 2 points in this half. He had 18 at halftime.
And as you said before, Tennessee starting to miss the free throws.
There's Ballard back in the game for Douglas. So Douglas, who's done a great defensive job on Nix in the second half, sits down.
Well, he has, and Ballard gives him a little bit more size down there. Not the quickness that Douglas has, but gives him a little bit more size.
That's an interesting change by Larry Finch. Let's see if that hurts his team at all.
Well, I think Douglas probably needs a break. That's a tough job.
4-point lead for Memphis State. 7:25 to go, and Perry's on the sideline. Out of bounds, another turnover.
I'm real surprised at how many times Memphis State takes the ball down the sideline and picks up their dribble with nowhere to go.
Nix is being Ballard picking him up inside. Oh, a nice drive by Swearingen. He shoveled a quick pass, and I don't think Nix was expecting it. Perry. Shot.
Not a good shot.
A little bit out of control. Nice pass, Nix to Bell. Bell is fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Well, not a good shot by Elliott Perry that time. And so often when you come down and you take a rush shot, the other team comes down and has an opportunity to score an easy basket.
Foul on McLaughlin, his third.
McLaughlin with the foul. That is his third, and now 16 fouls on Memphis State. So Bell will shoot 2. If there's been a late game hero for Tennessee the last year plus, it's been Bell. He won several games for him last year with late shots. He won a game at San Diego State last week, hit a three-pointer with 19 seconds to play.
Well, if there is a shot that is going to be a game winner, they will go to Bell to take it. He loves those situations.
And now a 2-point game as we go under 7 minutes. 22,000 here in Knoxville tonight. Most of them Tennessee fans. About 2,000 from Memphis made the trip. They've been quiet much of the night after Tennessee fans. This is a little bit of a quieter building than you would anticipate for one of this size. Munt in trouble. Gets rid of it.
Well, and Tennessee picked up the pressure defensively. Memphis State now struggling offensively, trying to find a good shot.
Shot clock at 12. Just beat the 5 count. Smith, nice move inside, left-handed. He may have fooled the defenders there.
Man, what a quick jumper he is.
That's a message, huh?
Well, that is a strong message. Darren Nix, you're not the only one that can throw the ball through.
13 for Ernest Smith and a 4-point Tiger lead. Bell. No bounce. And out of bounds goes Smith with it. It'll be Tennessee ball.
Why, that dunk by Smith still has me in awe, man. I tell you, Cheyenne Gibson coming into the ball game, and Elliott Perry going out, and I think Larry Finch will tell him that that was not a good shot.
Well, now here's an interesting scenario. Nix, 3. Got it! Tyron Nix, a 3-pointer. His first points in a long time, and it's a 1-point game. And Memphis State is now playing with the two men you would call their leaders. Douglas and Perry are both sitting down right now.
Well, I think you'll see Perry come back into the lineup here pretty quickly, especially if Memphis State cannot get their offensive formations. When Perry went out in the first half, they had a hard time getting into their formations.
Tennessee trying to crank the defense up. The Tigers milking some clock here, down to 15 on the shot clock. 1-point game. McLaughlin. Munt. Tough shot.
Not a good shot. Not at all a good shot for Munt.
And Tennessee a chance to get the lead back.
Boy, what a matchup. Munt and Roth really going at each other, boy, and they are talking back and forth. That is a lot of beef. I don't want to be the guy to get in between those two.
And away from the ball, Munt was called for the foul. That is his 4th. And we'll put Roth at the line. 5:06 to play. Memphis State by a point, but Roth will go to the line.
I think Munt was a little bit upset that the foul was not called on the other end. He felt like Roth got him on the arm. The official didn't see it that way. I thought Roth made a real good defensive play, hands straight up in the air, and came down and posted up strong, forcing the foul.
Now Roth will shoot a 1-and-1. Roth is 1 out of 2 at the line in this game, 58% on the year. And he misses. Munt the rebound. And he got rid of the ball. Boy, that was very close to a travel. If you hit the deck, they're supposed to call that a travel.
He did a good job of getting the ball thrown, a pass thrown very quickly, and the official didn't have a chance to call it.
And a timeout now. Larry Finch wants it. McLaughlin takes it. Timeout. Memphis State. We'll break on USA. 4:48 to go. Stay with us for a great finish.
It was even more vicious than it looks on the replay there, and He thought Darren Nix was going to come over there and try to block that shot, so he knew he had to go up strong to make it, but that was impressive.
And Memphis State comes out of the timeout still without Rodney Douglas and still without Elliott Perry. And a steal inside by Nix.
Big trip down for Tennessee.
Bell missing a three. Roth saving it at midcourt. And a collision foul. Cheyenne Gibson, his second.
Well, Gibson going for the long pass. Thought the pass would get over the top there for an easy two. Bell takes the shot here. Not a real good shot. And Tennessee, Roth doing a good job going for the offensive boards. Now he's gonna throw it long here, and there's Gibson right there. Obvious foul, and Gibson gets up. Fortunately, neither player hurt on that particular play.
4:12 to play. Ricky Clark trying to give Tennessee the lead. 1-1. Tennessee now is 4 out of 10 at the foul line in the second half. Six points for Clark, and I think Larry Finch was probably saving Perry and Douglas until his team lost the lead.
Well, what he wanted was to get those two guys a good breather so that they can be strong down the stretch here. 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go. It's going to be important to have those two guys strong. Douglas on the defensive end, because he's going to have the job of trying to guard Darren Nix, and Elliott Perry on the offensive end. He has to run the show for Memphis State.
Oh, it is a 1-point Tennessee lead. Memphis State had it to 5 several times in this half. Tennessee led by 11 in the early moments of this second half.
Memphis State very patient right now, and I think that's a good decision.
Now just up a little too tight in the face of Douglas is Ricky Clark, his second foul.
Well, not a good play by Clark that time. Douglas far away from the basket, had him in real good situation defensively because Douglas didn't have anywhere to go with it. He bumped him, and it's going to give him a chance for 2 free throws.
And a good foul shooter. This year, 84%. The jinx worked, huh?
Yes.
So with 3:40 to play, a big miss there. Tennessee has the ball at a 1-point lead.
Well, no question who Tennessee wants the ball to go to right now. It's just a matter of whether they can get the ball down low to Darren Nix.
Nix wants it. And Nix doesn't get it. Rothbo on the putback is fouled.
Well, you see what happens right there, though. Even though Nix missed the shot, Memphis State is so concerned with him down low. Once he catches it, they run 2 or 3 players at him, and that gives Roth an opportunity to go in there and get the offensive rebound and a chance to score the 2 points.
And now a little bit of concern for Memphis State, Jack. The only 2 big men they have, Steve Ballard and Brett Munt, are both in the game with 4 fouls apiece.
Well, this is not the time to take them out, though. They have to have those 2 guys in there, so it's going to be important for those 2 guys to play smart and not pick up a cheap foul.
That's so interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen a player drop the goggles like that to shoot foul shots. Roth with 11. And Tennessee by 3. You see the time remaining. And it's getting loud in here.
Well, needless to say, every trip down is a big one. Memphis State doesn't have to feel, though, that they need to make the 3-point shot right now. A lot of time left. A lot of times players feel like they have to make it all up right now, and 3 minutes to go.
Well, again, and the 3-pointer, if you're just joining us, is really not a major part of the weapon for the arsenal for Memphis State. Swearingen fouling, his 3rd.
Foul number 11, Swearingen, his 3rd.
Well, McLaughlin is one guy that will shoot the 3-pointer for Memphis State. Of course, Elliott Perry will put it up from out there when he has the opportunity, but Perry only 6 of 16 from out there on the season, so not a real good 3-point shooter.
Perry is at the foul line. His first trip there tonight. At 2 minutes, 56 seconds remaining, and Tennessee leading by 3. What a difference in halves. Tennessee 50 points in the first half, and just 20 thus far in the second half with less than 3 minutes to go.
I think this is the guy Memphis State would like to have on the line every time down the stretch.
Well, 2 big foul shots missed by the Tigers here.
He missed that one, but he is a pressure player, loves pressure situations.
Munt missing the front end of the 1-and-1. And then that miss on the second shot. And Nix is going to go right back to the line, and Brent Munt has fouled out.
Well, Munt didn't like the call. It looked like he got all ball. I don't know what happened down low. He must have gotten him with the body because it looked like up high he got all ball. But Darren Nix, though, he makes a strong move. Tennessee fortunate right here to come up with the ball. And Nix, because he is always moving without it, comes up with the loose ball. Once he gets it down there, as I say, he's going to either score the bucket or draw the foul. Here's Nix right here now. Watch him go up there. Munt's going to come over top, gets him with the body there, but makes a pretty good play. He has to come over and help in that situation.
Nix with 23, Munt fouling out with 10. 2:40 to play, and I think, Jack, I think Memphis State's going to have to stop the ball from getting in there right now. They just don't have anybody in there left, big people.
Well, they've done a good job of not letting Nix have the ball down there. He had 18 points at the half, only 25, now 26, so not a lot of points here in the second half, but they go to him when they need points, and you can't blame Tennessee. I'd do it too.
So it's back to a 4-point lead now for the Volunteers. 2.5 minutes remaining. Tigers using up a lot of time on each possession as Gibson has the shot blocked by Roth on the way in.
Well, surprised he took the ball to the basket. He's made that 15-foot jumper the entire ball game. That time he tried to create something and took the ball to the basket to give the defense a chance to recover and get the block.
And now a critical possession for Memphis State to stop Tennessee as we go under 2 minutes, and a foul, and Ballard has fouled out.
Well, he's pointing to Douglas.
Is he? Yes, you're right.
For the foul. Now, I don't know. I didn't see Douglas up under there. And Douglas is looking at the official like he's made a mistake, but he's going to get credited with the foul nonetheless.
Well, Memphis State will take that right now. It's his third. Douglas's. It would have been the 5th on Ballard. So at 1:56 to play, Roth at the line. And each point now makes it very tough for Memphis State, Jack, because they haven't been able to score points very quickly in the game.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if Roth makes this, if Memphis State comes back in with McLaughlin, who is a good outside shooter, a good three-point shooter. They're going to have to go to the three-point shot before long.
1:50, 6-point lead for Tennessee. And Perry's fouled by Swearingen. That's 4 on Swearingen.
Well, that's been a good matchup to watch. Quickness on both sides. Swearingen against Perry, and they just continue to go at each other.
Oh, Elliot Perry will go right back to the line. It's been a while since Memphis State has scored a field goal. Their points in the last few minutes have come from the foul line. 13 for Perry tonight.
Big free throw right there. As I said before, he likes these situations. He likes the pressure.
1:43, and Perry trying to make it a 4-point Tennessee lead. Just snuck that one over the front. They set the press up. Of course, Tennessee can use 45 seconds here. They may go into the hook. No, slapped away from behind. Gibson slapped it away from Bell, and there's a big turnover. Ernest Smith.
Now, talk about the quickness for Memphis State. You just can never relax when they're in that four-court pressure because they run those guys from behind, and they just won't give up in it.
Perry going right into the traffic, banks it home, and it's a 2-point game. And now baseball down to Nix for the layup. So Tennessee gets it right back.
Well, they did that early in the ball game. We haven't seen it in a while, but what a key opportunity for Tennessee to run that play.
Exactly 1 minute remaining. Those of you joining us to see Miami Vice will be seen in its entirety on USA immediately after this game. 1 minute to play. Tennessee by 4. Memphis State with the ball. Needing to score on this possession, and it's Elliott Perry arcing it high and short, but Ballard pulls it down. It's a 2-point game again.
And we haven't heard from Ballard very much here on the offense either. That might be his first 2 points, but big 2 that time.
Now Tennessee pulls it out. They cannot run the clock out. There is about a 4.5 second difference. You're looking at the game clock. About a 4.5 second difference between game clock and shot clock.
Well, they bring Roth way out on the floor and let him handle the ball, and well, that's dangerous. He almost traveled with it that time.
Again, you're looking at game clock. I'll give you shot clock as Roth finally takes timeout. 12 seconds on the shot clock now. So it's actually a little bit closer to 6 second difference. That's funny. 12 seconds on the shot clock, 18 on the game clock, and Tennessee by 2. And Tennessee now has 1 timeout remaining. Memphis State has 2 remaining.
I'm still a little bit surprised that Tennessee lets Roth come out there and handle the ball. I know he's tall and he sees over the defense very well, but when you're in that half-court game, as you see Ohio State taking on St. John's with an 8-point lead, you have him out there, and it's tough because he is not a real good ball handler.
That's at the Holiday Festival in New York. The other game you saw, Florida State, Villanova, good matchup. That's at the tournament in Orlando. And Villanova beat Auburn by a point last night. A reminder again, Miami Vice to be seen in its entirety after our game here. And we'll be back with college basketball a week from Sunday. UCLA and Oregon State live at 7 Eastern, January 8th here on USA. Our game tonight produced by Gary Dubin. Associate producer Jeff Filippi, our director Billy McCoy. Tennessee with the ball. Again, you're looking at the game clock. I'll give you the shot clock. It's at 8 right now. At 6. At 4. Stolen! A steal for Memphis State. And the ball is held. The possession arrow to Memphis State with 5 seconds remaining.
And I expect Larry Finch to call a timeout here and set up a play for his team. A lot of times, and you have to give Finch credit, a lot of times teams go out and try to commit the foul to send the other guys to the free throw line, and Finch wanted to stay with his defense. He has faith in his defense and his young players, and the fact that they can put the pressure on defensively. They didn't commit the foul, came up with the steal, and now they have an opportunity to win this ball game, or at least to tie, down by 2.
What was Tennessee trying there, Jack? Because they were not going to get a shot up. They were not going to beat the shot clock.
Well, I don't really know. I would think that once again you want to go down to Darren Nix, but credit Memphis State's defense because they didn't let him have it, and they forced Tennessee to spread their offense out, and they had the ball out around midcourt with under 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, they must have been hoping for a foul.
I think so. I think they thought that Memphis State would come out and foul, but when you have faith in your defense, as Larry Finch and his coaching staff does, you don't have to foul in that situation.
76-74, Tennessee leading, 5 seconds to go. Memphis State with the ball at half court. Each team has 1 timeout remaining, and Memphis State has put their best outside shooter, John McLaughlin, number 15, in the game. McLaughlin has made 3 three-pointers in the game. And as soon as our game is over here, Miami Vice in its entirety on USA. Here we go. And now Tennessee wants a timeout.
Well, they wanted to see how Memphis State was going to set up, which formation they were going to set up in.
And they had McLaughlin, the shooter, inbounding the ball. We'll be back for the finish in Knoxville in a moment. 22,000 standing in Knoxville. This is the game on the line. 5 seconds, Tennessee by 2. Memphis State ball, they throw it away on the inbounds. And the game is over.
Oh, and that is a tough break. Nope.
I'm not sure the game's over. Wait 1 second. Referee Don Shea blowing his whistle down the court. I'm not sure the game's over. What I'm wondering is, did Roth fall out of bounds after he stole that inbounds pass?
I think they're going to say he stepped on the line, and Memphis State might have another opportunity here. Well, McLaughlin just throws the ball in here, and they're trying to get the ball on the baseline here, but, man, not a good pass at all. And there he is on the sideline, so with 4 seconds left.
Yes, you can see it clearly. Don Shea blew the whistle, so there should be at least 3 seconds remaining. There should be no fewer than 3 seconds remaining for Memphis State, allowing for the human instinct of a second to turn the timer off after Shea blew the whistle. And I did not see that whistle, but it was clearly blown after Roth stole the inbounds.
Well, Don Shea right on top of the play, and he was running out saying, stop the action, because this is not over. Tennessee already celebrating and headed towards the locker room, but Memphis State will have another opportunity. They have 1 timeout remaining. We'll see if they're going to call timeout to draw up their final play again.
Well, Tennessee gets a break as there's only 2 seconds to be put back on the clock. That's a break for Tennessee. Memphis State takes its final timeout, and they get 1 more chance. And that was an unusual inbounds play that Memphis State ran from out here at half court.
Well,
I'm not sure what that point was.
I think it was Douglas breaking along the baseline. I'm sure the play was set up for McLaughlin to get the shot, because a lot of times in these three-point attempts or the last second plays, the guy taking the ball out of bounds is the one who is supposed to get the shot. He probably would have run off a screen away from the ball, but he threw the ball right into Roth. Roth made a good defensive play on that. Memphis State now in a situation where they don't have any timeouts left. If they cannot get the ball inbounds where they want, they just have to take what they can get.
But they will be inbounding from almost foul line extended, so they have a much easier inbounds play here than the last time from half court. Again, Miami Vice coming up in its entirety on USA after this game. 2 seconds left. What a great game in the first ever scheduled meeting between Tennessee and Memphis State. They battle every year for the great talent in the state, and bragging rights on the line here. 2 seconds, Tennessee by 2.
They have Douglas taking the ball out of bounds now. He will give them a little bit more size. He will be able to see the floor a little bit better, but look for the shot still to go for McLaughlin. He's over there. Darren Nix on him, so Tennessee very much aware of him on the floor.
Looking, comes into Ballard. Tennessee wins. Well, that was probably the 5th and final option for Memphis State.
No question, but you can't ask for a better shot than that. He had a good shot.
And what a gutty effort by Memphis State, down 11 early in the second half. They came back to take a 5-point lead at one time, but Don DeVoe's team took control down the stretch, and they go to 8-1 as they beat Memphis State 76-74. And credit to Don DeVoe and Doug Dickey, the athletic director at Tennessee, also for starting this series, which will become an annual affair.
Well, and it should. Both teams have great tradition, great programs. It'll be good for the state. No question about it to have these two teams playing.
And we should also thank Bud Ford and David Grimm, and our very gracious hosts here at the University of Tennessee, for their help this evening. The final score, Tennessee 76, Memphis State 74.
Vols and Memphis State. Tigers down by as much as 14, but Elliot Perry brings it back, drains the three-pointer. Memphis State up by 1, 59-58. With the Tigers leading by 2. Ernest Smith goes inside. Dyron Nix, he slams it. It's a 4-point Memphis State lead. Then from the inbounds, Dyron Nix gets the pass, gets the layup. Volunteers are back up by 4, 76-72. A chance to tie. Steve Bullard. No, it won't go. And Tennessee holds on and beats Memphis State in the Volunteer Classic 76-74. A couple of other games to pass along to you tonight involving 25.
When Tennessee